All right, G80's back. So now it's time to do cosmetic upgrades, modifications, all that stuff. It went down to Auto Paint Guard in Tampa, which you've probably seen that video by now. Got the high impact area. So we did the whole front clip, I did the whole roof, the mirrors, the black side blades, the A, B, or the B pillar, and then I did the entire rear bumper as a, just a precaution. But I'm going to take the wheels off, coat the wheels. I've already denibbed the tires, prep the tires, dress the tires. I'm going to switch out all the badges to these beauties, telling you this will transform a car, change it to the IND black painted version, as well as the floating black painted center caps. I've got some Technoviolet side reflector replacements. These how do we say this? Ace? What is this? How do we say this company? Axon? Axon? Zexion? I don't know. I'm struggling for how you would pronounce this. ACEXXON. Made in Taipei, Taiwan. Whatever. So these will go in the rear for the reflector area. Theoretically, this is my front lip protector. I've got the most amazing spacers ever, Future Classics, 12 millimeter. This is a new product from IND, which I'm excited about because I've been really struggling, hating the BMW rear license plate holder. So they have this new system that they put together. So this is a shield. I don't know if I'm going to like the shield or not, but we're going to try it out. I do like this to replace. Now the goofy BMW version is floppy and doesn't have threaded inserts anymore, so it just has screw holes. So that's no good. So we're going to do that, and then we'll see about these. They sent me these to try out. These are to create yellow turn signal lights, I think. So I don't know about that. We'll see. But first, let's wipe it down. So I'm going to do CarPro Eraser. This is my favorite wipe down or prep product, especially on a relatively clean car. A lot of the car's already been washed because they did the paint protection film on it. So this is the least grabby of all the wipe downs. So let's use these guys. Put the car down here a little bit. And so we're going to prep to coat. And I'm going to do G-Technic CSL, topped with XO, 2 coats of XO, XO V4. I try to get some more V5, the new version that's coming out, but it's still in beta, and they didn't have any for me. I only had the 1 bottle. So this is important. You don't want to undo all the magical work that you did. So we don't want to undo all of our, the new PPF. We don't want to scratch that up. We don't want to scratch up any of the surfaces that we just spent half a week correcting. So this current XPEL Ultimate film that's on here doesn't accept G-Technic's Halo very well, which is the stuff that's specifically formulated for PPF. So I just like to do CSL XO. I was going to do CSU, Crystal Serum Ultra, but they didn't have any in stock, and I'm impatient. So we're going to do CSL XO on this. It'll be fine. This car's going to live in the garage most of its life. This car is going up to Helen. It's going to be hopefully taken very well care of by the people and myself when we go there. So this fender's done, PPF, roof's done, lights are done, front bumper's done. So this whole section, and I believe we had them do the lip too, let's see. These grills will be coming off here shortly. Always be careful with your towel when you're messing with PPF, because you don't want to grab the wrong edge or hit it against the edge like I just did there. You'd be really surprised doing the CSL combo on here. So before I coat the thing, so I'm cleaning it here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the emblems, I'm going to do all the or some of the cosmetic things first before I coat it. So I'm doing a gloss black Vorsteiner grill. Just to hack off the BMW dork. So let's just pretend I'm wiping it down like this with my eyes closed. Why did you even buy it, man? Like people like these dorks in the group, they're like, I worked really hard. What do you think I'm doing? You know how much harder I work now that I don't have like a traditional job than I did when I had a traditional job? So don't give me that bull crap, you work hard. I guarantee you I work harder than you do. Why did you even buy it? Because it's probably a great car. Who knows? I gotta own it. You can't live vicariously through other people's reviews. You gotta put your money up. So that's what I did. So guess what that allows me to do? I have an E36, I had an E46, I have an E92, I've had 3 different E92s, I had an F80, I bought the G80. I can say whatever the heck I want. Like, well, you're not a real enthusiast. What? Who is then? You think somebody just gave me the car? And one dude was like, you know, BMW should make it so you can't even buy them anymore. What? Oh my gosh. Dear Lord. You're just here posting for business. I'm like, no, I'm post because if people don't post in the forum, it's terrible. You need people to post in the forum. I've gotten so much value out of people posting in forums. Like, without the collective, without us all putting in effort, then there is no forum, then there's no information. I love the forum. Makes you not want to, now you know why rich people don't share. Dear Lord. Because they get attacked. That's unbelievable. Why is this even on the front page? Because I'm like the biggest BMW enthusiast there is. Or in the top 1% at least. Gosh sakes. Freaking idiots. Well, you know, he used to be different before he had a business. Of course I was different. I was broke. God dang it. Well, we work really hard for our BMWs. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. No, but I do understand. I just don't draw identity from my purchases, you know, which many people accidentally do. They don't mean to do that, but that's what happens. And so when you're, you know, if you're attacking the pig nose, then you're attacking their nose per se. And I never really had that. I'm like, well, I like what I bought. I don't care what you think, you know. I would have that attitude, but I think pretty much anybody can admit that this is, you know, this is an ugly looking car. And I didn't even say anything really badly. I just said, look, I don't love the front. I don't like the front bumper, and it's not going to grow on me. Everybody keeps saying it's going to grow on you. I guarantee you it's not. It can't. It's not possible. It's too freaking ugly. And yet, you can still purchase the car. And, you know, maybe like it, maybe not. But until you do it, how do you know? I think you've got to, it's much different owning, the ownership experience is very, very different than the watching reviews experience, or even driving the car, even going test driving the cars. You all know this, if you get a car, it's very different than if you have it in your garage, you're paying for it, you're making payments, or you took money out of your bank account and put it up for the thing. You know, there's a much different feeling when you own it than when you're borrowing it or using it or test driving it. It's much, much different. And so for me, you know, like, I don't like the F80 because I don't like the S55, but I don't regret buying it. I don't regret the ownership experience at all. I'm glad. It's fun. So we're doing the same thing with this. And I'd urge you to let go of, if you have this, let go of that attachment to the car. I used to be really, really attached to the car. So there is no PPF here, no PPF here, because there's no real good place to cut it off. I'm telling you, doing edges, like this edge here, is kind of a mistake. That edge will live there forever. You know, once this gets in the sun, starts baking in, that edge will be the edge from now until eternity. And so, you may get away with it on the side of the car here because it's not in direct sunlight, but if you do any kind of vinyl or decals or anything like that, just resign the fact that when you put that on there, you're gonna have to leave it there forever. Like my GT3 RS that I just got, the one outside has, they put the typical dorky old man Porsche, stripe down the middle. And then that turns into a stripe down the middle forever. So now the stripe is not on there, but the stripe is embedded and etched into the paint. And my suspicion is that without, the car's covered in PPF, so I can't test it unless I pull the PPF off. Without sanding or even repainting, that is not coming off. Ever. It's there for forever. So we did PPF on this side blade here just because if you don't, that sucker's never gonna look good. Same thing here, so there's PPF on this part here. So you gain some orange peel when you do the PPF, but you lose all the scratches because the PPF will hold up much better, and then you can kind of self-heal it at times if you needed to. So this car's getting exhaust, intake, engine cover. I decided, you guys talked me into it in the comments, I decided instead of doing springs, I'm doing the sleeve coilovers, so the spring with an adjustable perch. So I'm doing the M Performance version of that because, everybody's right. And if I did the AST springs, I wanted to keep it simple, just have somebody pick the height for me. But we all know that's not going to work for me, so you're right. I ordered the M Performance sleeve coilover kit from IND, so that should be here shortly. Acra exhaust, PSI mid pipe, all the cosmetic stuff we just talked about, which we're going to be working on here. Daler tune, which I already have. I got to put that in. The Keys Motorsports. We'll see if we're going to do those or not when I take the front bumper off. So we do the Vorsteiner grill, and then behind here, we got some carbon fiber pieces for there. I don't know, you can't see it. So to spend the money or to put that carbon fiber piece in there, I don't know if it's really worth it. Now I already have the piece, and we're going to have the bumper off anyway, so maybe we still do it, but we'll see how difficult it is. So I've got these to replace. I'm always not sure about that. I just don't like, nobody likes amber. Right? We don't like the amber turn signals that we're stuck with here in the US. But the red in the red looks pretty good. So we'll make a game time decision on how difficult it is. Do I have to take the fender well out, the whole apart in order to get in there? I'll check out some IND videos. So I had them do the rear bumper too, just because the rear bumper gets jacked up. And I did it again. I bought an Acra exhaust, despite how much I always hate them. They're always terrible. But Sean talked me into it, said for this car right now, it's the best option. So we're not going to gain a whole heck of a lot in sound because the exhaust on this car, when we do it, I'll show you in the video, I'll make a video of it. This factory exhaust on this car is pretty darn robust. It's one of the best factory exhausts I think I've ever seen. It looks legit. So we're going to pull the badges off first, and then I'll coat after we put the badges on. I'm going to take the wheels off. We got a lot of hours into this thing already. Quite a few hours left to go. So I'm going to finish this wipe down. I'll come back to you when we do the badges. So the smart thing to do here would be, if you're going to do paint protection film, remove the emblems, then send it and have those guys remove the emblems. I couldn't do that because I didn't know if I could get the emblems in short order, because sometimes getting these black emblems from IND is hard to pull off. If you catch it at the right time, when they just made a batch, you can get them. I like to think that I helped a little bit of popularizing this idea of the black badge. No, I didn't invent it. No, it's not my idea. But I have talked about it a whole lot. And a whole lot of you are BMW bros like I am. So just putting a little tape around here, try to get this emblem out of here without causing any damage. You want that. Need a little 8-pound test for you. 12-pound test. Suffix Advance. Hyper copolymer advanced monofilament technology. I just stole it from Ryan Stackelbox, and he usually gets pretty legit stuff. I don't know if the heating part even really matters, but there's going to be VHB 3M adhesive on here. Let me cut this. Yeah, man, this last go around with the BMW crowd has made me start to think, man, the Porsche people don't act like that. So we need to cut it, and you need to do it on both sides because there's 2 pins in here. I'll show it to you when we take it off. I'm going to try to get this in here. Come on, I might not even need to do that. Easy peasy. 103334. Yeah. This is clearly the one that goes on. So you put these little puppies, little feety thingies in here. Let me wipe this off first. This one, we'll use something a little more aggressive. We'll use some, this is G80 Surface Prep, what's it called? Panel wipe. Yeah, so we'll do this one. I'll spray this one on the towel and then just kind of clean this up here. So the reason the badge came off so easily is they did take the badge off. So, ready? Oh yeah, that's way better. That's real good, bros. That's so much better. This is 3M Precision masking tape. We'll wait to put license plate on after we coat underneath it. You can see the difference of one badge that came off and one that hasn't been off. Plus, I think this one has more adhesive on it. Sometimes you can get lucky like that. on, nice. Stayed on the badge. This is heritage you're taking off. This is great. Normally this goes really wrong every time I do this. I pulled the one off the E92 and had a big paint chip. Pulled off some paint with it. Nope, nope, get out of here. Pretty sweet. So, you know, I'd taken the M3 badge off, taken the X-Drive badge off, and then blaspheming by punting the heritage in the trash in favor of new age, cool, chromeless, not a little bit less chrome. Yeah, that's the ticket there, bros. Freaking power trunk on an M3. What kind of bull crap is this? All right, what other little cosmetic things can we do before we coat? Let's put the, I hate doing these, but I need to do those. Oh, sweet, I think I can do this without taking anything off. Now, I need to take the wheels off. Oh boy. Can you get, okay, yeah, you might be able to get this off without removing any of this. We won't be reusing these. Before I take too much of this off, let's get some wheel guides. And so we have a replacement for this little bro too, which I'm excited about. The shortest wheel bolts I've ever seen. How short those little guys are. Let me show you what we're going to do with the spacers. So these are 12 millimeters from Future Classics. Future Classic. Is it 5 millimeter or 4 millimeter? 5. There's fresh anti-seize on there, so I don't need to put any on the hub. So I'll just put a little bit of the anti-seize they provide. Little copper anti-seize on these. So normally you'd put a little bit of anti-seize on the back here. We don't need to do that because it's already there. So I'm gonna leave this with stock wheels and just spaced out. And I don't think I'm gonna upsize. I don't even think I need to worry about upsizing the tires. I just don't know that I can get this out without pulling the fender while pulling this brake duct out of the way. It's gonna be a lot easier if I take this apart. That's pretty good. Okay. Just see if I can just slide this all the way up. Yep, nice. Get this last little piece. Like that. Cool. Now, let's check. Yep, figures. Lots of glue left behind. So this is my, I think, 8th BMW. So this is the 8th time I've done something like this. That's when you know you're getting old, you know, when you're from, well, now Waba's had 25 BMWs and he's 20, but I feel pretty good about my number 8 at 42 years old. You're just bragging. Yep, I am. Now what? And I don't even like this one. This is the left. And we're in. Much better. So before we do that, let's put the front lip protector on. That's this thing, the ACXEX double X on. Ace X on. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me in the comments. So this is the front lip protector, which I've never done one of these. So there is PPF as well, so we got like double protection. A protection for the protection, and then we're going to coat that. It's going to be impenetrable. Except for when someone drives up to a curb and smashes the front lip off. Okay, I see. So it has some give to it. Which way goes forward? So we're going to start here, and we'll kind of work our way over with it. And you can kind of curve it as needed. Cool. Yeah, this is easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be more complicated to do, but you just kind of carry the front edge and push back on it as you need to. Like, I have no idea what this costs, or any of this costs. I have no idea. I just chalk it up to life expense. I am very, it's not lost on me. I feel amazing about that. I've accidentally figured out a way to make a business case for doing stuff like this, to where, you know, it's like the old adage, you know, Joe Rogan talks about this. He just wanted to be able to go to dinner and not have to think about it. You know, that's the goal. Like, you can go to dinner, order anything on the menu, and not have to worry about it. That's kind of how I feel about it. I want to be able to go to IND and order any cosmetic upgrade part and not have to think about it. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Wasn't sure there for a second, but I'm here. Let's get my finger out of the way this time. There we go. I wasn't expecting that to come off like that, clearly. Okay, let's carry this other piece. We might have to cut this down. Oh wow, they give you a bunch of them. Oh shoot. Did I just mess it up? Dang it. I did. These go in the front. Let's see. Dang it. Well, we're gonna leave it like this. This is why you read the instructions, folks. Those are the ones that go. Yeah. You're a freaking idiot. God dang it. I'm so stupid. Nope, it'll rip the PPF off if I take it off now. So you want to put these in the middle where you don't have to contour, because now I got to carry a big contour and I'm not going to be able to do that. God dang it, how did I mess this up? I was feeling so good about myself. I mean, it's not messed up, but it's not. I'm an idiot. Oh, you freaking idiot. I'm going to have extra. And actually, I think I put the whole thing on backwards. Wouldn't it go? No. Yeah, I mean, it probably goes that way, doesn't it? I thought it made sense to go this way. Did I just cut this one wrong too? I did, didn't I? You freaking idiot. No, I wanted to cut it. Yeah, I did. God dang it. You can tell the things that I've done before and the things that I haven't. This one I've never done before, so you screw it up. Let's at least make it symmetrically janky. So I got the orientation right. The little ribbies go in the back, but it doesn't really show you. I guess it does here if you really pay attention. Yeah, A. Well, now we know. No one's half the battle. So I got a little ahead of the camera here. I've coated the front clip and working on the windows. So I'm doing CSL and XO on the windows. I may or may not have XO V5, and I may or may not have a little bit of it, enough of it to do a good portion of the car. So that will not be on camera. I have an NDA on that I cannot talk about it, not yet. I don't think anybody would get disappointed if I told you it's friggin' awesome. It may or may not be on the other purple car behind us. The purple pigless nose. The purple proper nose. So I've got the creature towel, I call it my wax removal towel, as my initial wipe. And then I have the pearl weave towel, forget what they call this one, as our coating removal towel. That's my second wipe. And I'll only need 2 towels to do the whole exterior CSL application. What car was I doing last coating? Oh, that car, where some people were telling me I didn't know how to install CSL XO. Yeah, no, this is how you frickin' do it. We have countless hours to get to this point to be able to put it on. All the polishing, all the decon, all the putting the emblems. And I did get the other fender reflector replacement on, so that's done. So the windshield, I don't put any coating on. The windshield we put woofs. I have a hard time with that word. I should just resign, just call it woofs, W-O-O-F-S. I'm gonna change the name to it. I bet you they'd change the name for me. Be easier to say. But we'll put that on the windshield. Get it all dialed in. This is why I bought this, even though I don't like the pig nose. I like the potential. I like all the parts I can buy. I like the discovery process. I like that I can figure out if this is a car that I really like or dislike. You know, do I want to have it long term? The likelihood of that is pretty slim. But why not try it? Especially in my case, when I can make a bunch of videos and stuff. It's just fun. Got the Acura exhaust sitting there. I got the Eventuri intake up on top of the cabinet. You just put all the IND cosmetic stuff on, or most of them. Pretty much the dream. So the same 2 towels. The cool thing about CSL is as you're walking around the car, I feel like I just see a spot here on the window, I can just wipe it off. If I was doing CSU, I'd be screwed. I'd have been screwed right there. So I would have all the lights out, and I'd be taking a lot more time. I'll do all the jams at the very end. Usually. The trunk is I usually do a pretty extensive cleaning to the trunk jam, so we'll probably do the trunk jam right now. And the best part about this is the first wash. That's my favorite part. first wash, you get all the last little, if there was any, little bit of funk left over from polishing. So if you do all this stuff, all this work, this makes it easier in the future to maintain. I like this fancy little piece they put here to cover up the trunk lid, but these are the things that, like on an M car, they should get rid of that piece of plastic, you know, lighten it up as much as possible. So I'm going to keep doing this process here with this CSL, working on the rest of the car, applying it like I did to the back windshield here, including the paint, all the trim, and then I'm going to do the same process with EXO. Somebody did a good job polishing this thing. I love that I can send it to Auto Paint Guard and they know not to mess it up. Not all PPF installers get that. And you don't treat the PPF any differently. Paint, PPF, same process. The only thing with the PPF is just make sure you're not rubbing on edges and lifting them. But most of this car is tucked, so we got spacers, we got new emblems, we've got coating done, we're working on the coating, and so I'll sprinkle in the wheels in between, but I'll show you what we're going to do to those if you haven't seen this before. If you're new to this whole thing, then in a separate series, separate episodes, we'll work on the individual parts, the exhaust, the suspension, the intake, all this, the tuner, all that kind of stuff. All right, I'll see you in a few seconds on the wheels. Today, actually then last night I was here pretty late, till like 8 o'clock or something like that. I took the front wheels off, which you saw. I cleaned the front wheels, did the first layer of DLUX. I'm gonna do 2 layers of DLUX and a single layer of gliss. Normally I'll do a single layer, but this car is going to get driven quite a bit. It's going to be in pretty dirty conditions at times, so I think doing two coats makes sense. But kind of in between here, I'm throwing a coat of DLUX on the calipers. I just wiped them down with some eraser, and then I'm going to try to throw another layer of DLUX on the front wheels, and then I'll start doing EXO, which is the same exact process. I'm going to do V5, so I'm going to not show it on camera. We can't show that yet, but I'll kind of work through that, and then we'll show you the windshield as well. So today I'm hoping to get most of the wheels done, and I probably won't get them completely done, but I'll certainly get the front wheels done today. I would like to get the whole first layer of EXO on the car. I'd like to get the windshield protected with Wolf's, and then tomorrow finish the wheels, finish the last layer of EXO, and then work on the leather. I want to just wipe the leather down with a mild cleaner, and then get a layer of shield on the leather before I take the car up to Helen. So we're still using DLUX. Use DLUX on the calipers as well. And so eraser on the calipers, just like the wheels. And then we DLUX it up. This just helps keep them a little bit cleaner. And this is a higher temperature coating made for wheels and calipers and conditions like what you have on the brake areas. But you can see, if you've been watching this car, following along, you might want to just consider paying someone to do all this stuff. But I will tell you that, and detailers don't like to hear this, but they really don't have the bandwidth to be able to do it to this level. It's not they don't know how to do it, they just can't do it because you'd have to pay too much money. And so what I would consider is talking my detailer, if I was going to pay someone, like, how do you find a detailer that you're going to have to pay handsomely for this, I think. How do I get a detailer to do all this stuff to my car? And how much does that cost me? They'll do it, but most of them, especially the bigger shops now, they're doing more superficial stuff, you know, polishing the car to 80, 90%. They're coating, they'll coat your wheels and calipers as a separate service. They're not denibbing your tires and stuff like that, you know. To find the Jim Whites of the world that'll do all that stuff, you know, Jim takes on a car at a time, maybe 2. So that's a really boutique operation. It's kind of more of a European thing. It's just not an easy thing to build. To have expertise around all these different areas is not an easy thing to find if you're a car guy, car collector, and you're looking for that kind of thing. The only thing that, so like I can't do the PPF and I can't do the dry ice cleaning. So, but, you know, to learn what I've learned has taken a couple decades, you know, and traveling around and learning from different detailers or having detailers come here and, you know, and teach me stuff. It's been a huge commitment. And so to get a car looking like this, for most people, it's probably not really worth it, you know. So I want to get 2 coats of DLUX, but I like to let the DLUX cure for at least 3 or 4 hours. I don't have any empirical data around other than just recommendations from the manufacturer of this. I don't have a lot of info that tell me whether this makes a difference or not letting it sit, but certainly can't hurt to let it cure and then add another layer. And DLUX, unlike CSL, is layerable. These calipers are pretty. The nice thing about the carbon ceramic aspect is they'll stay pretty. Okay, let's get set up over here. Let's just turn this the other way. I like to watch YouTube or Netflix or something because these are so freaking tedious working through these wheels. So the first layer of DLUX is real annoying on these porous satin wheels. So the second layer should go on a little smoother because now the wheels are. So this is the Source Garage wheel stand on a Sonic cart, and I find, oh yeah, this is way easier the second time around. First time I'm like, it's super grabby. So stay organized on this kind of thing, and these wheels are going to soak up a lot more coating than gloss wheels. And DLUX is a pretty forgiving coating. I mean, you don't have to rush it. You don't have to get a stopwatch out. You can just kind of take your time. I'm going to treat the wheel in 3 different sections. So I'm going to do the barrel first, then I'm going to do the back side and the inner barrel. Remember, more coating is not better. You just need a even layer, because you can't put more on. You're just going to wipe it off. So the goal here is to not load it up. It's to just cover every inch of the wheel. And I'm not wiping it off. I'm just leveling it. And so I'm watching for little smears. If you were going to try to learn how to do wheels, see if you can find a satin finish like this. It's easier to see the coating going on, and it's harder to make a mistake. So then what I'll do, I'll start with the valve stem here, and I'm going to treat this inner side behind the spokes. That way I don't have to try to reach in there when I'm working on the front. And we will have pushed some of the coating or gotten some of the coating on the front of the wheel. So if you're going to do this, I want to make sure I go do the front of the wheel now. I don't want to wait, because then I'd end up with some high spots. So we come out of the front. This thing's cool because I could just spin it around, but I'll just walk around in this case. So again, I want to stay organized. And so I'll start on the valve stem right here and work my way around. And this is coat number 2. So the wheels are a little slicker a little smoother. DLUX is not slick right off the bat. It's not slick on application or removal. It's slick later on. Slick-ish. Nothing like CSL XO, but much, much more durable for this application. Let's think about this. So the wheels, all 4 wheels, if I did 2 coats of this, 1 coat of gliss, I mean, I'm probably looking at 6, 8 hours worth of work, denibbing the tires. So, you know, if your detailer is charging you, say, $100 an hour, you're looking at $600 or $800 to do a set of wheels. It's going to take them the equivalent of a full day's worth of man hours to do a wheels off. Just making up that number. I've never actually sat down and did the math, but and if you are a detailer, don't make the mistake of not, I mean, I would be building all kinds of spreadsheets, figuring out, okay, if I'm gonna do wheels, how long did that take me? What is my target hourly rate? How am I going to continue to improve my skill set so that I can justify? And then how am I going to market that skill set increase to my customers as I work toward, because I don't think you can start at $200 an hour or whatever you plan on charging, but I think you should be thinking about your path to that, especially if you're doing it. So if you're the expert, you've done all the training, you've traveled around, you've collaborated with other detailers, you've learned and chased and tested all kinds of products. I think this is very uncommon in the detailing profession, but if you've done all this stuff and you haven't just gotten stagnant, I think that you have to then figure out a way to market that skill set that you've developed, because in the beginning, you didn't know what you're doing. How do you actually become a professional? And then how do you build a business? You're not in business if it's just you. You're a service provider. You know, business is, you know, a grouping of people that are executing a task. Business is, you know, an excuse to be in relationship with others. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think that then you need to start working towards, don't freaking call yourself CEO. You look like an idiot when you do that. You want to figure out, you know, if you're offering that boutique just you service and that's what you want, then I think you need to figure out ways to market the things and provide your customer base with information, whether it's, you know, I don't know if it's via email when you get certified in something, or you've learned some new skill set, where you're growing with your customers. Because chances are, if you have good customers that you're doing really nice cars, they're ascending as well in life. And so I don't think it's inappropriate, as long as you can provide information on why, but your services should increase in value as your skill set improves and you invest in your skill set. Instead of just saying, well, I have this customer forever, and you know, he's just used to me charging him too little. And you don't want to. There's a balance here, because you don't want to charge too much. You want to find what you're worth, and sometimes most of the time you need to sell your customers on why. You don't want to price yourself out of the market. But you want to, I think you want to be intentional when you're sitting on the couch at night watching Monday Night Football. I think many of you professional detailers are probably working at night, especially in the beginning. But when you're sitting there, start building some spreadsheets, figuring out, you know, what does it take me to do a set of wheels? What does the product cost? What do the materials cost? What is my labor worth? How can I make it more efficient? What have I learned? Quantify what you know now that you didn't know then. And then if you have that on your brain all the time, when you're selling somebody on your service, you'll be able to articulate why you have some additional value over what you maybe started out with. So that's coat number 2. I'm going to do that to that wheel. We'll let that sit till this afternoon while I'm working on other stuff. So my process is going to be coat number 2 on that. We'll let those sit. I'm going to work on XO off camera, work on the XO application, same as CSL. And then after XO, I'll probably hit this with Gliss. And then I'll probably do the rear wheels with the interior. So now that I think about it, the rear wheels will probably go with that. So I'll see you guys in 10 seconds, but for me it will be several hours later as we do the Gliss application and work on the rear wheels. We'll see you then. Like a real classy gentleman with these gloves on, you know, like a real classy, like a Porsche mechanic, like real classy guy.
Yeah.
He's got gloves all the time.
Sophisticated.
Yeah, my hands are all sweaty though. I just want to take them off and get my hands dirty instead.
Yeah.
Front wheels are done, so I did 2 coats of DLUX, 2 coats of Gliss, 2 coats of DLUX, 2 coats of Gliss on the calipers. We're starting to tear into the intake, so taking the stock intake off because all that fancy carbon's about to go in here. I've been kind of talking about figuring out how we're going to set up the rental on this and how we're going to make it work. I mean, the idea of, you know, $1,000 for a week and then somebody goes and drives 2,000 miles is not going to work, you know. So, you know, this is not a like rent my car. This is a experience a really great put together M3, you know, as part of the whole experience of the house. You know, so this isn't going to be like people going to the mountains and going to rag out the car all week. That's not really the point of this here. It's to kind of go out and do a few hundred miles and experience what a dialed-in M3 could be like, as well as getting to experience the house and all that goes with it. So I'm sitting here kind of figuring out how that's going to look. But I'm about to put the front wheels back on, got the spacer set up, put the wheels back on. I'm gonna take the rear wheels off, get working on that, and then I still haven't done the XO yet, so I need to get working on the XO. So while Mike's doing the intake, we'll capture some clips of that. I'm gonna start probably on the rear and work XO front to rear, maybe start on the roof and do that. I wanna do XO V5 as much as I can, and so I'd like to do XO V5 on the front clip, the roof, the trunk. We'll see how much I have.
Well, we're in the process of installing the intake, and there's a little external an E8 down here that is very hidden, but it's I had one on the turbo inlet here that I had to get down here that was pretty tight to get to too. You can see the turbo wheel there, but I had to get under here and get you couldn't see it, it's kind of blind, but this one I can see. So once we get all this off, I think just about got everything off, then we can start installing the new one. 1 minute I'm doing construction, the other day I'm working on M3. Yeah. Talk about variety. It's variety. Variety is the spice of life, Mike. Not quite as good as those cinnamon spices that are on the cinnamon rolls. So, intake's done. Intake, I did the engine cover, transferred over the grommets, put the engine cover on. The intake's all finished. It's very, very nice. Super pretty. It is definitely engine jewelry.
How many horse?
I don't know. Does it matter? It just looks nice. I'm sure it does something. I'm sure it's good for nice colder air and more flow. But it's getting a tune, so I'm sure this will work well with that. Yeah, it looks good though, huh? I love the Venturi. It fits perfectly. I mean, there's like, I would say, maybe on this side a 16th clearance, and this side maybe an 8th. So they really make it precise, but super sweet.
Still coating away here, bros. It's 6 o'clock at night and we're still at it. I don't think it's that late, but 4:45, 6, 10, whatever. Is it?
It's close.
I got all the badges done. Got that really cool looking license plate frame. So IND has a new license plate program. It's pretty sick. It has like a UV protected clear cover, like plexi clear, and then has like a all new aluminum bracket. So it gets rid of that junk plastic one the BMW has with all threaded inserts. So I need to eat some food. Going through towels, getting intakes done, doing leather treatments. Or what I might do is order some sushi and keep going. That's what I might do. Time will tell.